Hello, welcome to SquishiVision. I finished watching What If Kahhori Reshaped the World. This episode was so good. I mean, obviously, I'm not Indigenous American, so I'm not the authority on whether or not this episode paid in respect to the people it's representing. I'm very keen to see reactions, reviews, and comments from my communities. But just from a perspective of an original hero. I mean, also just from the only perspective I can speak from is as a person of color, and as someone who comes from a background of a nationality that was ravaged by colonialism. I am obviously going to be very much in favor and a big fan of any narrative which doesn't go soft on the message of frankly we should kill all colonizers. I was expecting us to do a very soft telling in a very kind of Western media kind of way about not portraying colonization as anything but terrible, but having our protagonists take the hard moral ground and being no, we're gonna be better than them by it. There's this narrative that you beat your enemies by being better than them, and that is true in a lot of respects. To be honest, if people are oppressing you, you should be allowed to fight back using any means necessary. And I think it's a propaganda scheme that we try and paint. Say that if you go down to level, you're as bad as them, and that's not true because you can't win some battles by not being as bad as them. Essentially what I'm saying is, I appreciate that they didn't paint the protagonist Kahhori as being anything but full of conviction about no, we have to fight back. Pacifism isn't a way. We have to fight back and defend our lands, defend our people. The colonizers are monsters, murderers, horrible, ravaging the lands, and they don't deserve any kind of quarter, really. The episode is very, very strongly on that kind of whole wagon of we need to fight back against them, and I like the whole message about everyone who lived in the sky world had become too comfortable in their privileged state that they forget that they have responsibility to help fight for their kin who are in less powerful positions. I mean, considering what's happening in the world, cough cough, Palestine, Israel, it's a message that I can kind of somewhat take a connection with, but so yeah, I mean, this is an epic, the whole thing about the Spanish are invaders, and their he needs to be fought back on, in no uncertain terms was. I appreciate that message, and in every respect, this episode was beautiful. I loved the, I mean, it was. I love the kind of the musical aesthetic. I'm assuming that's taken from accurate. I'm assuming because I'm going to take best fifth position here, but hopefully, if that's not the case, I will see people calling out as it deserves. But it did seem to take from musical cues from that cultural background. I love the kind of use of nature. I like the blowy glue visuals. That's beautiful. Everything felt very powerful, very, very kind of raw. I love the fact that apart from the Watcher and cameo from Benedict Cumberbatch at the end, also I appreciate Clancy Brown getting top billing credit this episode for what I think was basically one line, possibly reused from Thor Ragnarok in this episode. And yet, someone else returned as Odin, who I think just grunted. And he got possibly top billing credit as well. I appreciate that the entire dialogue in this episode was either in... Oh gosh, alright, I'm not gonna do it with the service by saying indigenous. I'm going to actually check Wikipedia. And okay, so yeah, all the dialogue was in what Wikipedia is saying is Mohawk language, and I think there was also Spanish in there as well, probably. And I appreciate the fact that the episode was completely subtitled and not dubbed, or not, translated in English. But the fact that the entire episode was in, or at least all of the Mohawk spoke Mohawk language, I think was great. We get at the end a Doctor Strange, unclear what sorry, I'm just trying to find the quote. Okay, so according to Wikipedia, the Strange that we see appearing at the end of the episode is Strange Supreme, which I think is the Strange who was apparently forced to forever guard Ultron in that bubble. So it was interesting that he's got out. Maybe dangerous. I imagine he's probably also related to what happened to Captain Carter in the last episode. That's probably the arc. I mean, we know the last episode of this season is, I think, what if Doctor Strange intervened? Or Strange Supreme intervened, so clearly that's going to be dug upon after this anyway. But I really, really hope that we get to see more of Kahhori in future episodes. I really hope that the success of her character means that we get her in live action, because she deserves to be live action. We've seen from Ms. Marvel how well this can do for representation, and I think it'll be really, really important and really, really good if that it gets stretched to this character as well. So I've now caught up on What If. Hopefully I will keep up to date. I'm gonna go wash my plate, and then I think we are behind on some Spider-Man 2 gameplay. But again, it also is 2:30, so maybe I should also go to bed. Ooh, decisions. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and catch you all later.